Hey, bitch! This is IMO with J and M. Sorry, I hijacked yeah.
That was amazing.
I was told
That
to
was
do
pretty
that.
good.
I didn't want to do that. I was told.
That was amazing. Really, you did it willingly. No one would dare
Yeah.
make you
after
do anything. Are you kidding me? Okay.
Putting him on the
So
spot.
yeah, this is IMO. In my opinion, this is actually our 10th episode. I don't know if that
Happy
means anything.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Where's the confetti?
Is that what that means? Production assistant.
They-
Um,
I'm special.
Okay.
I'm special.
I don't know what that means, but whatever. We have 10 episodes somehow. I don't think no one watches them, but sure. Yeah, it's important, right? Shouldn't it be? Our 10th anniversary. We try to make this special, so we brought another guest or a guest.
Who actually talked before he was introduced? That's a big no-no.
Yeah, you're
right?
fired. Never bringing you back again. All this time
Damn.
setting up that little ass mic and you talk before.
So,
Jeez.
okay, this is my nephew Syed.
Obviously by marriage, right? Because they're
we look
nowhere
exactly
they
like.
look
Come
exactly
on,
alike.
come on.
So his
Practically twins.
So how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself? Say something about yourself. What you're into? What you like to do? Try to keep it G-rated, please.
G-rated. Oh.
You know.
Okay.
Let's keep our web browser histories, quiet.
Keep it on the secret.
There we go. Now
Only
we're talking.
seen.
Okay.
Well, the recent graduate. Nothing much. That's.
Where do you go to school?
I went to USC. Just graduated with a criminology degree.
So, what are you gonna do going forward?
Hopefully, stuff with criminology.
No, but like, do you have duh. But I mean, like, do you have a specific job you're trying to be? Like, you're trying to be a cop? You're trying to be a lawyer? You're trying to be a?
I know what he's trying to do. He
Not-
just doesn't want to say it.
Yeah. Right.
He
Governmental
wants,
work. Governmental.
He wants
work,
to be
that's it.
part of the FBI,
Oh,
Governmental work.
which
That's
is
cool.
kind of
Well,
cool.
I don't want to be a
That's
cop.
pretty
and
cool.
You see what's happening out there right now. Everybody.
Tobacco, alcohol, firearm, or
Anything. Honestly.
Cool. Speaking
Something
of,
that I could do with my degree. I'm more into like the justice and like injustice done in prisons and stuff like that, and against women in the LGBTQ community. But
so where does your plan to go to Japan and teach kids English fit in with that?
It does on a scale of I'm trying to be international, you know. So not just work within the U.S., but like have that resume show that I
you've expanded.
yeah, I've expanded within the.
Gotcha. Cool. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on this whole like rioting situation that's going on in the city right now? Or not just here, obviously it's all over the country, but
Yeah.
or the world too, because in other countries they're
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
they're doing
Yeah.
crazy shit too. So since you're Mr. Justice,
Mr.
what is your opinion?
It's a great Marvel superhero name, Captain Justice.
This
I can see that.
Maybe
dad jokes.
let the man talk.
Yeah,
Stop
man.
cutting him off.
Sorry.
You could say it's both good and bad. I mean, I've seen both ways. Some people saying that stop looting our stores because you're just going against and doing what the white community or the 1% want us to do and fight against ourselves. But and then on the other hand, it's like what's I was gonna say. The companies have insurance already, so they're just gonna get that product back that we're taking. So you're speaking out against these
Corporations.
These corporations, correct? These corporations that have these insurances that can buy back what they lost.
As funny, I know that's kind of like a conspiracy theory type of thing because I've heard that before, and I've always wondered if that's true or not because like insurance is a big deal, and that's like an easy way for them to get money. Think about it. That's easy money for the corporation.
So you're
It is.
trying to say the stores are
They don't care that you're doing it.
inviting looters?
Yeah. In a way, they get money. I'm not saying that's what they're doing.
I think those small mom and pop stores might not.
No, of course not. They don't think they have enough money to.
Okay, then that's a
anything.
problem.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's the problem when you're in your own community and you're breaking down your own community and these shops that are like homegrown and by local people that are inside your community, and you're destroying their only source of income. That's when it's a problem. When you're destroying your own community, when you're supposed to be fighting back for your community. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, so that's where it's like a shady area, but it could go. But I don't. It's a tough topic. It's a tough topic.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, they were talking about there was like a food. It was like a food desert. Like there's no places to shop and there's no places to get food, grocery stores, things like that. And then it makes you wonder what's gonna happen now if all those stores were looted and some of them even destroyed. If they're ever gonna want to come back over to those neighborhoods.
Yeah. I don't know.
Time will tell.
When I see all this looting stuff, it's kind of I don't find a good reasoning for it, I guess. Like I'm all for protesting and all that. That's 100%. I agree with that 100%. But I mean, like kind of like what he said, it's like you're kind of destroying your own community. Like I went to Target today and I had to go all the way to Elk Grove Village to go to a Target because this one's closed. The one right here by the house is closed. The Walmart's closed by the house. All of this stuff is gone, and it's just like, what purpose did it serve? Because it didn't really do anything.
Well, they got on the news.
But Walmart and Target are like multi-million corporations.
Of course, but
that their insurance, they definitely have to have. If a larceny happens, they get all that money back.
I mean they're not. I'm pretty sure they didn't tell their employees to stand in line in front of the store and protect it at all costs. I'm pretty sure they didn't do that.
I would not have done it, especially how much I'm getting paid over there.
Yeah, I mean, talk about pay. We'll get to that in a second.
I set up that transition.
Hold on, I wasn't done. I had a train of thought.
Damn.
Man. God damn it. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Now let's go to it. So, what did you say?
Wait, can I say something real fast before we move on?
Sure.
So you guys can get your train of thought. So you said Target and Walmart, right?
Sure.
But what I was talking about,
smaller stores.
Yeah, smaller stores.
Like, and I agree with you because the smaller stores don't have enough to rebuild or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That could be their only livelihood, the only source of income.
No, yeah, but
like the restaurants that even like say your mother had a restaurant that was looted, and she had no other source of income. How is she gonna pay to rebuild to get that machinery back, those products?
No, absolutely, and I think that's wrong. But again, I don't justify stealing in any business, period. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to steal if you want to loot something to make a statement, go loot City Hall. Like, go break into Trump Tower and take something.
They tried. That was their original plan, and
that was never gonna happen.
And then the police barricaded everything. Like, not barricaded, but they stood in front of the bridge that goes into Trump Tower.
Does Derrick Rose live in Trump Tower?
Who?
Derrick Rose?
Derrick Rose can afford to live in Trump Tower?
I know he can afford. Does he? I thought he did.
I don't know.
He doesn't play in Detroit. He doesn't live here.
Doesn't live here anymore, I wouldn't think.
Just because you play somewhere else doesn't mean you can't have a house in your city.
That's true. That's true.
My point was, when you start ripping off these stores, I guess the concept. Stop playing with that, please. I think the concept kind of gets blurred because you're just ripping off stores just to rip them off. You're not making a statement when you rip off a Target or a Walmart or anything of that nature, or even your local stores. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, I get the concept, and I think a lot of people would say that's a I can't think of a word. That's a sign of proving a point, and that's okay. But the majority of it is not right. I mean, we're stealing from people that have nothing to do with what's going on. And then these stores are what make the money get involved in our communities. I mean, you know how long it took to get a Walmart in Chicago? It took a lot of years and a lot of time to get a Walmart in Chicago, and now we've fucked them all up.
I mean, yeah. I don't think the concept and the view behind that. I think it's that that lives matter more than product. You know, because this has been several years in the coming. You could say from I don't know who knows when, from let's say from back when, from slavery. That's when it is. That's not saying from who knows when. That's when it started. You know, and it's been we've had
progressively
black people have more rights. You could say, but they still been
Repressed,
oppressed.
oppressed.
And they have prejudice towards them, right? But it's still been injustice after injustice after injustice happening to them, and this was a long time coming, right? So lives matter more than product any day of the week, right?
Sure.
Because you're killing off these people and you're kneeling on their necks. You're shooting them without any arms. Just a regular traffic stop because he's a black man, you know?
Right.
Products matter.
Sure.
For the 1%, products matter more than lives.
Sure.
So that's what they're trying to say, that these
So-
products mean nothing because these lives have been given, not given. Let's not say given. They've been wasted when they've had all
Taken.
these years. Yeah, they've been taken after they've had all these years left to give back to the communities, because a lot of these people were well educated people in their community.
Okay. I can agree with you on that. I think here's the thing though. And I agree that yes, there's a lot of racism and a lot of oppression. Why do I start coughing every time we hit the record button? I agree, right? There is a lot of repression and stuff like that. I just always looked at looting it doesn't really. I agree with you that lives matter more than product. If you ask me to save a person or save an 8K TV, I'm gonna save the person. The TV doesn't matter. But I think the overall message that is being delivered is not a positive one. You get what I'm saying?
But
like
their
a
message,
positive one.
their message is we've been in peaceful protest and nothing's changed. So we got to do something different. I don't think it's right, but
I don't think it works. I don't think that works because
that's-
what it does is put you in a bigger hole because these are your own neighborhood communities.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you want to steal diapers, let's say we stole 100 diapers. Okay, cool. Next weekend when you're done with those diapers, where are you gonna go buy them? There's nowhere to go buy diapers from.
You have to travel.
It doesn't necessarily serve a good purpose. And I agree with you. If peaceful protest doesn't work, but that's not how we get change, right? That's not the process that we use to get change.
Got to vote.
You
See
know?
if that works.
Sure. Yeah, that's a way. I shouldn't talk. I don't really vote too often, but
Shame on.
God.
maybe if we had
Neither do
people
I,
if we
but
had people that
shame.
actually I agreed with, then fine, maybe I'll vote for somebody. But a lot of these people are freaking idiots. Weren't you just telling me how Joe Biden is a fucking idiot?
Hey, yes, I was.
There you go.
I did. The man can't compose any type of sentence. He's there. There should be, and I've thought this for a long time. If there's an age
You
limit,
thought about something?
yeah.
Improvement. We're making progress here, guys. Progress.
Okay, listen. If there's an age limit, you got to be what is it, like 35 years old to become president, to be eligible to become president.
Yeah, something.
35. There's got to be a age limit the other way. You can't be more than, I would say, 75.
Yeah.
I mean, if Joe Biden gets elected, he's
mean,
going
you
to
gotta-
be the oldest president.
you have to-
77. That's old.
You have to look back. I mean, how old was Abraham Lincoln and those people? Those were pretty old dudes.
Those are
No,
old
they just
times.
look old because of the time
What's
they were
the
living
age?
in.
Give me an
Man,
age. Give me an age. What's their age? Do we know their age?
I don't know.
Because George Washington did not look
I know
that
he
young.
was assassinated. George Washington.
I don't know.
He had wooden teeth.
I don't know about the whole thing
not
about
sure
your
how
age.
old he
I don't know about your
was.
age thing, but I
The
think we
tall
need
hat,
to.
too. Don't forget about
Well,
that.
why would you want a senile old man running the country?
If he's fitted for the job, I don't
If
have
you're
a problem with it.
senile, you're not fitted for the job.
You
You're
could
not
be-
fitted for any
John,
job.
you could be blind and be fitted for the job. It doesn't matter if he's senile and going. If he's
does
retarded,
matter,
if he's
because-
retarded, if he's stupid and cannot hold, if he's
not
not
the right
qualified
term.
through education, if he's not mentally right for the position, you shouldn't get it.
Well,
I agree
that's
with
what
you.
senile means.
Sure, but is Joe Biden clinically senile?
I
if
think
you
he's
wanna put
getting
it.
there. To be honest with you,
Okay,
like I'm not too big with Trump.
Listen,
but in between the both of them,
you're kind of
it's kinda
sidetracking.
hard.
You're sidetracking my question. Is he clinically insane.
I don't know. I'm not his doctor.
Okay, then we cannot say he's not qualified. Look, I think when it comes to the presidential campaign, I think we need different types of people to run. I'm sick of just it being politicians, but I'm also wary of it being entertainers like Trump, right?
Okay.
But I think we need to get away from politicians because politicians are just
You
they're
can't
not
get away from
they don't have
politicians.
their ear on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Like again, I don't want to say that freaking The Rock should be president either.
Oh
but
my God. No. Please.
why? Then he would probably pass a bill that says gym memberships are free. He would be your favorite person in the world.
Those laws would begin with The Rock says blah 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 blah. Don't.
And every speech would end with the whole microphone.
I mean, I think you're kind of stereotyping there, Mike.
What the White House is cooking.
Because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California.
Sure,
I think
he
he was
didn't do a
alright.
bad. He didn't do a bad job, and that's what I'm saying. We should open it. I don't think it should be specifically like to just anyone, obviously, because I think it is open to anyone. You don't have to be. There's no necessarily criteria you need. Like you don't need college or anything like that. You can run. You're probably not going to win, right? Because you need money. That's the issue. The biggest issue is Jonathan Diaz can't run for president because he doesn't have the funding to become president.
Sure, I can. Let's start it right here. A grassroots movement. Let's get me in the White
And
House.
we're not going to get there. That's going to be a
You'll
waste
be
of
my
time.
chief of nothing.
Sponsorships
That's-
all over coming.
Okay. So yeah, Joe Biden's an idiot and Trump's an idiot too. What did you mention earlier? You mentioned minimum wage, right? We were talking about money.
I guess minimum wage doesn't matter now that nobody
has
have
a job. And I think that's what. That's another thing. How many jobs were probably lost? Well, not lost, but now postponed even more. First, we were postponed because of Corona and whatever.
No,
Now because there's nowhere to work.
I'm still working.
Me too. But
I'm
just.
not.
What did you do?
I said I'm not.
Oh, you're not working. Period.
No,
though,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Are you having trouble finding a job?
I am actually.
I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Maybe because they put a bunch of big trees in front of the parking lot of Target, so nobody can go in there
That's
now. You know what's crazy? Minimum wage right now is actually not bad to come to think. And it's funny because how old are you, Saya?
22.
22. So you're a lot younger than me and Jonathan are. And the minimum wage in Chicago right now is $13.
I would
Let that sink in right there. I know you. Do you think that's plenty? You think that's
I think
suffice?
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, I don't waste money like that. I got parents, but but yeah, that's pretty good. I mean,
He's a moocher.
hey,
You heard it
hey,
here first.
Hey, take it easy. Take it easy.
I don't know, man. I would have killed for $13.
How much were you getting paid?
When I first started,
Yeah.
my first job, I worked at Kittyland Amusement Park down in Melrose Park, and I was making a whole $6.06 or something.
Bowling.
You, John? Because you're a couple years older
What
than
year
I am.
was that?
5.
What year was that?
Yeah.
Like in 20, I don't know, 05, 06, no, 04?
04.
I dropped out of high school to get a
Well,
job.
there goes your.
I
there
went
goes your
back and I
career.
graduated, so stop.
From where did you graduate from? So we don't like talking about that. Where'd you go? Repeat it to me. Where?
KP.
That's
Kelvin
right,
Park.
baby. You got that quality education, baby.
Really? I almost got shot twice.
That's the gold standard. Lane Tech sucks
I-
balls compared to
The only
Kelvin
thing
Park.
I got taught in Kelvin Park were evasion tactics.
How to dodge bullets. How much were you making on your first job, and what was it?
I was making cabinets for $5 an hour. And actually, my boss told me, you know you're not getting paid for the trips, right? So he stopped the clock on the way to the customer's house. So yeah, I wasn't even getting paid for that.
Fucking
But
snakes, man.
That's tough. I started at 11. I mean, I started working pretty late too, but I started minimum wage was 11.
What were you doing?
U-Haul.
That was like a month ago.
No,
Weren't you working at
What
U-Haul
you
like a month
talking
ago?
about?
no, that's
Still?
a long time ago.
That
Really?
was like 4 or 5 years ago.
You say
something.
that's a long time ago? Wow.
Yeah, long time ago.
Kittyland was a long time
Time
ago. bro.
flies. Yeah, first
That
4
was-
years ago. No, 3
And
years ago.
And I used
sophomore
to
year of
ride my
college.
bike to work, and that was a fucking trip.
Mm.
Like that was a good 8 miles
First
there and
F-bomb
back.
drop.
That's your fault. My job was like down the street, so I could just run there.
Oh, but jobs were a little harder to get. And then back then, when you were 16,
I think so.
like 16, when you're 16, you can work, but it's like a lot of companies don't want to take a risk on you. You know, and then Target wasn't around yet, or was it? I don't know. It probably it was, but it probably wasn't all that.
Weren't gonna get into a bar. Yes.
What the hell are you talking about?
You weren't gonna get into a bar to like work in a bar at 16.
Okay, I think we can. Yeah, no shit. No, you need to be 21. No shit. We're not talking about that.
Okay.
Duh.
Just
No,
saying.
Did anybody even remotely think of a bar to work at 16 years old?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure it's happened.
You were doing so well. You were talking so much smarter than the stupidity comes out of your freaking mouth. Okay. Yeah. So 16. I remember my first job was at Keyland. It was a summer job, right? My buddy used to work there, and he was like, "Yeah, they hire everybody." Your sister worked there for a little while too.
Yeah.
You want to talk about slavery? Working at fucking Kittyland was slavery, okay? Because that place should be under freaking. And I know that's a bad. I'm just playing. It's
What
not-
doesn't exist
Listen,
anymore? First of all, maybe because
here,
of
check
that.
this out. Probably. That place. Okay, you work in the summer in Chicago. It gets pretty fucking hot,
It's
right?
hot as balls.
It gets pretty hot. So they had this rule when you work there, right? You couldn't have a bottle of water with you unless the temperature was above like 93 degrees. But yeah, you're standing in the sun at 89 for 8 fucking hours, but for some reason you can't have a drink of water.
Is that like a written rule?
Yes, it
What?
was in the manual. I kid you not, but once 1 degree over or whatever it was, here they come with a little trolley of water.
Like that.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
For
Like,
some
this is
reason, I'm
ridiculous.
picturing the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. No
Oh.
water for you.
No, man, it was tough, man. I remember that it was fucking hot. I mean, I guess maybe they thought because you're sitting under an umbrella, I guess since the sun's not hitting you, I guess
Still hot.
it's fucking hot. Plus you're dealing with all these annoying ass kids, and they're annoying ass parents. Let my kid ride more. No, wait the fucking line. Yeah, it was a hard job. It was weird for $6. I look back and say, man, I got paid $6.
Yeah.
Basically
Jip.
$6 to do that shit. Hell, I'm not doing. I'll never do that shit. Yeah, so I'm happy that it's moving up for people. But you know what I don't like about that? I feel like if minimum wage goes up,
Yeah.
everybody's wages should go up accordingly, right? Because it's crazy to think.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy to think that I make $22 an hour, right?
Mm.
And someone starting in the workforce makes not that much difference than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
$9 less.
That's not that-
starting.
starting.
A kid.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, I feel like the gap should be if it's at 13 minimum, then I should be at like 26.
Yeah. You
You know?
So my cousin Aaron, he married an Australian girl, and she said over there they pay you. I think no matter where you work, they pay you based on your age. So if you're some punk 16-year-old kid getting a job at a coffee shop, they might give you $8 an hour. But if you are a 45-year-old working at that same job, they're gonna pay you probably twice as much.
I feel
Which
like
is,
we need to move there. Probably make more money the older we get.
no, let me hear that Australian accent. You got one?
Aye, man. Shrimp on the bobby. No.
What the fuck was that?
Right?
That was awful.
Oh my god.
But doesn't it? How does that work? Do you know? Like the
I heard her
pay
saying
per age.
I don't know. I'm assuming they've got age groups that they pay more than other age groups.
But in a way, that could be unfair, because just because you're young doesn't mean you're necessarily not qualified to make more money. You get what I'm saying? That can be
Yeah.
I can see where that can be an issue. I'm just thinking my thing with this one is just, again, I don't think it's fair that when minimum wages go up, everybody else's payroll stays the same. You know,
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
horrible.
I remember
That's
when they
horrible.
started lifting up the payroll. I was still at Walmart, and then I was like, shit, because they weren't gonna raise our pay, and I was like, man, shit, I can quit right now, reapply, get hired for the same position, and make more money because of the adjustment.
Shouldn't
Right? So
your
the
pay
company
go
wasn't
up, though?
adjusting it. No, here's the thing. So the company wasn't adjusting it. So everybody went up like $1 or whatever it was,
And you
right?
stay the same.
And you stay the same, or you get like 10 cents or whatever it was. But if I
Oh,
quit,
that's
like someone
crazy.
coming in now, because
Yeah.
now they're coming in at a higher base rate, my position was worth more money. So that means if I quit and got hired again for the same position, I would make $2 more.
So that's odd. Like
That's
That's
weird.
dumb.
I've heard of being grandfathered in, but that usually means that's a good thing, not getting paid less.
It was
It's
it was
odd.
ridiculous. Like literally, people were we were all talking about that because we were like, man, we should just quit and sign back up, and we'll make more
Let
money.
me say this: 13 is not a lot in Chicago
It
because
isn't.
Chicago's taxes are sky fucking high. I can probably live off of $13 an hour in like Georgia or
Sure.
someplace in the south.
Yeah, but let's think about who that's.
so it-
Let's think about who's getting those $13. I mean, this is probably teenagers that are just starting to work. They're living at home. They don't necessarily need more than $13.
Yeah.
You
Not
get what I'm saying?
necessarily everybody's living. at
Sure.
home. There's-
Not- yeah, no, but-
nowadays, there's a lot of young people that
Hey, you living at home?
I am.
Okay, there you go.
But nowadays, there's a lot of young people that believe that they should do their own thing and they go out and live on their own and
No,
Crazy.
Try to
that's
start
and
their own-
that's okay. But
try to start
I'm
their
just
own
I'm
life.
looking at the general, right?
Yeah.
Like the only thing I can use as evidence is my own life. And when we were talking about minimum wage when we were younger, it was for kids. Like right when you started working, when I started work, what was the first thing you bought? What were you doing with the money at that age?
Believe it or not, I bought a
Buying
pizza.
protein.
Pizza. Yeah, those were my big purchases.
I mean, you know what I was doing with that money? I literally was buying, because I used to do a lot of I loved electronics when I was a kid. So I used to go into rich neighborhoods and garbage pick when they would throw out speakers and shit and computers and put them all together and all that. So when I started I garbage pick, what? Big deal.
No, I was
What
gonna
you
say, yeah, I know what you were trying to do.
What?
Build a sex robot.
I don't know where you got that. I don't know where you got that.
I thought you were gonna say you was trying to pick
Nah.
up rich girls.
Okay. I don't know. I sometimes
Sex robot.
Sex robot.
Sometimes I wonder where his mind goes. Sometimes, I was putting together computer screens and stuff like that, and then when I started getting money, the first thing I did was I started replacing speakers with actual new speakers. I mean, the ones I have right here are still the same ones that I bought when I was at Kittyland. That was the first thing I wanted to do with my money, but I didn't need that much money because I lived at home. I mean, I didn't have bills. Who had bills at 16 years old? What's the only bill you pay? Lunch?
Now
20
people pay
cents?
phones,
No,
car
yeah, no.
insurance, if they have their own car.
Yeah, you know what? That's true.
That's
Nowadays, there's more stuff to pay now. But do you believe the same
As a
demographic?
16-year-old?
Yeah,
Cell
I know
phones,
people
everybody
that
got a
I know
cell
people that
phone.
that
Well-
have their own cell phone and their parents make them pay their own bill.
I'll tell you what.
As
I
well
don't.
they
I
should.
don't
should.
know
I mean, I
if you
don't
can
care.
actually. I don't know if you can actually go and buy a cell, get a contract under 18. I don't know.
No,
you could actually
your
do that.
parent buys your phone
Oh, it makes you pay for it.
and then makes you pay for it.
Good. I did that.
But do you believe
With
the same
$6 an
demographic
hour.
today? The same demographic today is having this low income, like the minimum salary, minimum wage
What the
salary.
hell
You know
was
what I'm
that?
saying? What? Did I say something dumb?
What the hell was that?
Somebody's.
I am at a loss.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
No.
Oh man, you'll hear it later. Don't worry about it. I don't
Somebody
know what the hell
farted?
that was. It sounded like somebody farted, but I don't know. It sounded like It sounded like when you open a door really, really slow. I don't know where the hell that came from. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Is
We'll
this
go-
staying in? No, this can't stay in. Oh my god.
He's crying. He's literally crying.
I am very sorry. I do not know what the hell was going on there. I don't know where that noise came from.
It sounded like a fart or somebody's stomach. growling.
Just be real. Somebody tooted and they didn't want to confess.
I
Did you smell anything afterwards?
didn't
Because
smell
I
anything.
didn't. I didn't even know what was
your
going
glass is
on.
kind of fogged up, so I don't know.
Because I was laughing so hard.
You were literally like in tears. It
I was in tears.
hilarious.
I think this house is haunted. Might be.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't believe in that crap.
Ooh, house
Same.
haunted.
Supernatural
Wait,
is
house
fake.
haunted.
What were you trying to say?
So I was trying to say is, do you think the demographic from back then that was applying for new jobs, seeking new jobs, is the same as today? Meaning, like age-wise. So back then, I think myself, it was more younger people looking for jobs, newer jobs, than older people like today that are looking for jobs.
Yeah, because millennials are lazy now. They don't want to get jobs at
Exactly.
16, 17.
Sure. I can agree with that. Yeah, they are pretty lazy. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of kids your age, they want jobs. I mean, but I guess they want jobs for the wrong reasons. Because like I remember, like my PA's sister, she's working. Delilah's younger sister, she started working, and
It's
she's
a
a
PA.
Personal
production assistant.
Oh, what the hell?
Okay.
Shit.
I'm glad we
Thought it was a
define
personal
that.
assistant.
I was thinking physician's assistant.
I was
don't
thinking
know.
Okay,
personal assistant.
Let's
I don't know.
focus.
Yeah, continue.
Okay.
But get away from
Um,
millennials. I'm talking about like the jobs that people
they're
are
getting?
Yeah, because you were talking about their minimum wage for teenagers, like these dumb teenagers, you know. But I'm talking about today. I believe there are more like unemployed adults or middle-aged people like in their 20s seeking for jobs than teenagers in their 16s to 18s. So the minimum wage being 13, which is higher, and then these people that already have jobs going up. I think it's the compensation. They're looking at it in a political aspect, you know, like for taxes wise in the city. So these people, these of age people that should already have their homes. I know I don't. I still live with my parents. That should have their homes or like their life going. You know, will be able to pay for all this stuff that they're doing. That's what I'm trying to get at. Not the millennials being lazier. That's another topic for later.
So what you're trying to say is older people are fighting for the same jobs as younger people, kind of, sort of?
In today's day and age, I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's because there's
There's
no
a lot of-
jobs anymore, really.
And that's part of it. There's a lot of unemployed adults that are looking for this job, and if we go back
Even
to
McDonald's jobs?
yeah,
Well,
He
I
was
guess
the-
now that it doesn't matter where you work if it's all $13
Yeah,
an
exactly.
hour.
That's-
Warehouses.
I'll tell you what, if freaking McDonald's is something easy, like if they want me to be a greeter at Walmart and get paid, if I needed $13,
Buku money.
I'll go do it. I mean, that's not a bad gig. I think it's
Flip
the
a
bad
damn
thing is
hamburger.
the bad thing is humans are weird. So like we get adjusted to what we make, right? That's why I've never been a big fan of like overtime. I refuse to take overtime. I know people have an issue with that. I'm gonna tell you why. I make enough money for what my 40 hours a week gives me, right? That's what I get week after week after week, right? My life is based around that, right? When you get overtime, right? This is temporary pay. Yeah, you're gonna make more money. But now let's say you go, like right now at work, this is the issue. So they were giving so much overtime. People were literally living off of that, right? So now that there's no overtime and now they're cutting hours, what happens?
they don't have enough to.
Now you have not even close.
Maybe
to
they
enough.
saved up all their overtime money for an occasion like this.
Probably not. 90% of the time, that's probably not the
They're
case.
like you.
We're not, and we're not all like you, John, where you actually saved money. Not everybody's like you. I mean, that's the thing. Majority of people get used to what they
Isn't
spend.
that important, saving money?
They work
Sure.
overtime to
Little
spend
nest
more.
egg for when you retire.
Sure, and I get that. But again, then there's different reasons why people don't like overtime. I don't like overtime because at my job, they would tell me, come in on Saturday for 4 hours. I'm not going to drive all the way to work for not that much money.
Don't you
When
get
I'm
time and a
losing
half?
it,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
time
but
and a
you
half,
but you also get taxed twice as much.
Doesn't sound right,
I
but
don't-
okay.
It is. It does
Is
sound
it?
right because anything that's above your pay rate gets taxed more. Anything that's bonus or extra, you get taxed more. That's why when you get a bonus check, that check is hella smaller because they tax it twice.
We
right?
should have another Boston Tea Party. I'm sick of these taxes.
You want to
They were worried about
Taxation
taxing
without
tea.
Representation.
Were they taxing tea? I
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah, they
what
were
they
taxing
were.
tea from China.
Okay.
No.
Well, right now
was
they're
from China.
It
taxing
was from Britain.
absolutely
My bad.
fucking everything, and I'm tired of it.
How do you think this? Where do you think that stimulus check came from, though?
I didn't get any of that, but
From
I mean, do you think the unemployment bonus?
I
that's
thought it
going on
came
right
from
now?
that Nigerian prince always asking me to send the money so he can send me a lot more back. No,
No. Taxes is a necessity, my friend. We cannot remove that from the system. That won't work.
I think it's.
What?
You know what? There's a lot of positions in government that don't have to exist,
Sure.
and I work in government.
Your position isn't necessarily necessary.
That was
what,
redundant.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
Listen,
Hey!
wait. Before I tell you what I do, listen.
Because I'm pretty
I
sure I
work
can.
in a municipality.
I'm pretty sure I
Cook
can.
County.
Wait. Time out.
Crook County.
I bet you I can go to my local Home Depot and find a lot of people for less money that could do what you do.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Just say.
Yeah,
And probably more efficient than you.
What I'm saying is that sometimes I go to work
and a six
and
pack.
there's 4 employees at work and there's 2 bosses. Does that make
Racist.
sense? Does that make sense?
No, I didn't hear what you
Say
said.
it again,
Say it again. I'm
say it
sorry.
I hate you right
Yeah,
now.
you did. I know.
So sometimes I go to work and there's 4 employees and 2 bosses. Sometimes 3 bosses.
Uh-huh.
One time I was the only one at work and there was 1 boss. So it's 1 worker for 1 boss. Does that sound
Stupid?
right?
No.
Yeah. No. There's a lot of waste in government.
Yes, I
A
agree.
lot.
I agree. And
And you're paying for that.
Sure. But you got to understand, tax doesn't only go to pay their fucking checks. Taxes go to a lot of other things that we need as a society, right? Now, do I think we should have a bag tax? That's stupid. Do I think we need to have, what was that other one? We had a soda and sugar tax? That's fucking stupid.
Entertainment tax.
Entertainment tax is pretty stupid. I don't know if you saw your cell phone bill recently, but that got adjusted. That tax went up again. That one's stupid. Have you ever actually read the taxes on your cell phone bill?
I don't know.
Dude, the city of Chicago has like 3 lines or 4 lines of taxing. Then the state has 3 or 4 lines of taxing. Then the government has its line of taxing. It's insane, right? But again, I understand what the taxing is for. Do I think it's a little too much? Maybe. Maybe. I mean,
just say
if you
maybe.
want to say what a stupid one is fucking city stickers in Chicago. What the fuck is that for?
I don't.
to pay for Chicago.
It's to pay for the streets and sanitation issues, correct?
Bullshit.
But I've been falling in the same hole on fucking Belmont. The fucking people that live in the area fixed one of the sides. The city couldn't even come and fix it.
I'll tell you what.
So you know what I do? I don't buy a fucking city sticker. I haven't bought a city sticker in fucking almost 7 years.
God.
Fuck
don't
them.
Say that out loud.
And no tickets.
Did you hear about the
0.
sex tax?
What'd you say?
Said sex tax.
You pay taxes for sex?
Yeah, they're gonna put a clicker on your scrotum and see how many times you. You see how many-
This is why, dude. I'm telling you, Sayed. This is why no one listens to us, bro. 'Cause John
You're
John
gonna
just
see
goes
how
off
many
on these
times you
weird.
spill seed. It's
Oh
gonna be
my God.
25 cents a pop.
Oh my God.
People.
Dude, you know what? I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
It sounds like a confession you were making.
No, I was going to say, you know how much babies come out of
I don't even
from
wanna-
sperm? Like
shit.
100, like 13 million or something like that.
This is why abortion's so awesome.
What?
Oh my god.
All right, let's get back to taxes. Let's
Okay.
get back on board.
Yeah, please.
A whole different route. So, what do you? Can I say something?
Sure.
What do you think about the taxing on the 1% being higher than what it is? Like they should be taxed more than what they are.
It should
Because
be
they
a
have more money.
percentage for, I mean, just the percentage. Like if you're going to tax everybody 12%, tax millionaires 12%.
Mm-hmm.
Should be the same for everybody, right?
It
It's
is already the same. I'm saying
No,
they
it's
should they
not.
should
They get-
receive
they get
they should
taxed less,
They
I
should
think.
get higher taxes than us because they earn more money, and
No, it's
causing
got to
that.
stay the same.
this is where it becomes an issue because it is different because depending on who's in office, certain taxes go certain ways. So you got a Republican in office, then they tend to favor the wealthy,
rich, yeah.
and the wealthy don't have to pay as much or whatever, or vice versa. Like this whole thing about the stimulus package, like if you depending on who's in office, that could have went either way. It could have been because like you know how they were getting a lot less if you made more money. Someone else would have been in office. Who knows how that would have ended up? I would love to say that it should be an equal percentage, right? So if you want to say 12%, everyone should be because that would be fair, right? Because that's
Yeah,
fair. It doesn't.
it's
It's not
fair
my
is
fault.
fair.
It's like it's not my fault that I make $50,000 a year and someone makes $100,000 a year. That's not my fault. That's not his fault, right? That's nobody's fault.
I'm not talking about 100,000. I'm talking
or in the
about
millions, sure.
Whatever
But it's
it
not.
is.
It's not my fault that they make that money.
The same number across the board. That's the way it should be.
Right. That's fair, right? Because I mean, what would be the reason for them getting taxed more?
Isn't
Because they
that-
have more money?
Isn't that systematic oppression though?
How?
Because we're getting paid.
We're
getting
paying more.
taxed
We're getting
more
paid
than
less,
rich
and we're
people.
getting taxed more than people making
Okay, so
2 million
okay,
a year
so
and
let's
getting
all right.
taxed
Let's
like
say that's
2%
something
or
that's let's say
like
something
that.
that's fair. Let's say it's 5%. Does that fix the problem?
What do
So
you
let's
mean
say let's say everybody could afford 5% tax. If they said 5% tax across the board, does that make everybody happy?
So long as it's the same for everybody, I don't care.
You get what I'm saying?
And it's
I think
not too
I think it's
high.
because I
It's
think
not
it's because
absurd.
we tend to say, well, because they have so much money, they should get taxed more, which I guess I understand, but do I think it's fair? It's not my fault that they have a job that pays that much or whatever the fuck they do, deal drugs, whatever the fuck they do.
But is it fair though? You
Is it
just
fair
said-
that they
is
make
it
that
fair?
much money?
Not that they make that much money, that they're paying such little tax. Because,
Again,
because tax is what the government uses to, like what you said, pay for
Sure.
the holes in the street. It's for the community. It's that money's for the community, right?
right. But
so
it
why
should be
shouldn't they give more of their money when they're
right, but we're all part of that community, so it should be fair.
exactly? But why would we have to give more? It's our community.
But we
say
wouldn't
live-
we
let's
wouldn't
say
be
we
making
live-
okay, that's what I'm saying. If we changed it and we all said we're all gonna pay 5%, right? You're not paying any more or less than anybody else.
Okay.
The only difference is it looks like it's less for them because they have so much, right? But that again, that's not their fault.
But what if that 5% is affecting my way of living?
And you probably should look for a better job.
There's no jobs. But we
I'm
were
just-
talking. There's no jobs out there.
Invent something. I don't know.
Get a second job.
It's not that easy.
Get a podcast like us. And
All
then,
right,
you
we
know,
got a
then
second
we'll,
job, right? So we're
This is our
hustling
second
more.
job.
We're hustling more.
not
We're
bringing in any
we're
income.
depriving like our livelihood just to maintain our home, our like way of living. So we have to get two jobs working 22-hour shifts back to back, right?
And whose fault do you think that is?
It's not fault. If I was brought up in a low income class, it's you know how hard it is to fight from a low income class to a high income class.
I would say yes and no. Now,
Explain.
I'll give you
Explain.
a quick example, and I think I'm not gonna talk about this subject anymore. But okay, so if we're considered what, middle class,
Lower middle class.
lower middle class, okay, cool. So someone who's in lower class, right? That means they make less money, right? When someone goes to college and they get scholarships and all that, right? Or if you want to go even simpler, when you go to school, high school, right? You put your income on a sheet, your household income on a sheet, and it determines how much you have to pay for lunch, right? So the lower you make, lunch is free,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So I know that's a minimal opportunity, but that's an opportunity that I don't have that you would have. Let's say you're low income. You can have free lunch versus I have to pay for it. Let's go to college. College is kind of the same way. As a low income person, right? You have more options from government support to go to school versus someone like me would have to pay the whole thing. You get what I'm saying? So there is an opportunity to increase your payroll, to increase your career, right? That I don't have because I got to pay it out of my pocket. So now I got to work a job and go to school versus you could probably go to school for free.
You know how hard it is to get a scholarship for college?
It's not
You have to be
amazingly
like
difficult.
What?
I don't think it's amazingly difficult.
Have you been to college?
Play a tuba.
And I paid for it.
Run fast.
When?
You get a scholarship.
When I went to
Did you,
when?
when?
12 years
What
ago?
year?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
12 years ago?
Did you get a scholarship?
Partial. Like
Like that, right?
10
What
cents.
was it, like a Pell Grant or something
Yeah,
like
something
that?
like that. I don't
$2
know.
grand?
Something like that.
To what
It's crazy.
college?
Joliet Junior?
How much was that a year?
I don't remember.
Why didn't
This
you
was like
go?
a long time
All
ago.
right, so a scholarship.
I dropped out. I wanted to be like you.
You could get an academic scholarship.
You were my inspiration, John. Look at the.
I did tell him I came back to school, right?
Oh, shit, yeah.
You forgot that part.
Listen. So scholarships,
Go.
academic scholarship for
Sure.
having outstanding grades, right?
Sure.
But kids that go to better high schools have better opportunities to education, to all that stuff that gets them into Ivy League schools. Or let's say, let's not even say Ivy League school because that's too much, right?
I was about to say,
Let's
because do you really need an Ivy League school?
Ivy League schools are better than regular colleges.
Sure, but
They
is
give
it,
you,
is
they
it
give you more
necessary?
opportunity to advance in your field.
Sure, and I'll give you an example. I'll give you contrary to that. Like my sister, she's a CPS school teacher. She went to college here in the city.
Mm-hmm.
No Ivy League. She's
Okay.
I guess if you want to say she's successful in her career,
She's
I
a
don't know.
school
She's a
teacher.
school teacher.
I'm
So-
talking Ivy League. I'm talking about like business. I'm talking about lawyer. I'm talking about what
Sure,
else
but
is
not
there?
everybody wants to be a lawyer. You know,
If you go to Ivy League school, you want to be something that's on the next level.
Sure, but
like Wall
let's-
Street working.
let's
or
go more
stuff like
general,
that.
'cause
that's
not
what
everybody's-
that's why I
okay,
said
go.
let's go back.
Bring it down
let's
a
go.
little bit.
Let's bring it down to like let's go to the school I went to.
UIC.
UIC.
Let's go there.
Beautiful. UIC represent.
or she goes to U of I, so you guys
Same-
are kind of
okay.
in the same ballpark.
Her school is better than mine. Champaign and Urbana pays. How much do you get? How much do you pay for tuition?
I don't pay anything. It's all covered.
You had scholarships
Yeah.
for what?
Grades.
Outstanding grades.
Okay.
That hers is like, let's say 30 thou a year. Mine is 11 thou, right?
Okay.
11,000. You could get that all paid through scholarships if you have good grades from a high school, right? But if you go to a poorer high school, you don't get that good educational background that these poor families have, right? That these richer families have, that they have that opportunity to go to a better high school. You guys were talking about Kevin Park, right? Kelvin Park and
Calvin Park.
you went, oh, there we go. Kelvin Park, right? Kelvin Park. But if you talk about like a charter high school, what kind of teachers do they have there? I'm pretty sure they have smart boards all over the room, TVs all over the room, and teachers that probably taught in some esteemed, that learned in some esteemed university or college. Am I right?
Sure.
Exactly. So they have better opportunities if you come from a better background, a richer background, and better high school, let's say, right? Compared to a slum high school that there's always fights and there's gangsters and teachers don't care about their students because they just want to get them through the system, right?
Sure. But I also think
So I disagree on what you're saying. Though.
listen, I think that it depends on the individual. I think do I think Calvin Park, you probably don't have all the opportunity. I mean, I know people that went to Calvin and are successful.
Yeah, I mean,
That have
you got to make the best of
businesses
what
and
you
whatever.
got.
And that's what I was about to say. I don't agree. I agree with you that if you have better teachers, quote unquote, you probably get a better education, right? And
It's
going
factual.
to city schools, going to CPS here in Chicago. Again, I'm very hesitant to say that teachers don't care because I have one that lives upstairs. Bars that rhyme.
Okay.
So I can't say, every teacher is not qualified to teach. I think, like John just said, it depends if you want to learn or not.
But
At
it's
Kelvin
hard to-
Park, unfortunately, the sign up front says for the people who don't want to learn. So you come here. Because that's kind of what happens there.
But it's harder to learn in an environment that is hostile. So let's say there's gangbangers that come up right after school every time trying to recruit people. There's drugs being sold within the school.
You
Sure.
gotta make the
You don't
best
have-
of what you got.
But
That-
but
that's
in
just
the
it.
city of
But
Chicago,
it's harder to make the best
That-
of what you got because there's all this surrounding you, this
I get
bad
it, but
influence.
you
You
don't
gotta
have to
remember.
be-
Listen,
You don't have to be
listen
sucked
though.
into
This is
it.
the thing. Remember that a couple episodes ago we were talking about how high school was like this glamorous idea, and then when
Oh,
we
yeah.
actually got there, it was a piece of shit. So you got to realize when you live in Chicago, right? Because that's the only thing I can really speak of because I live here. Schools here are not what we think they are. Like you say, we got to do the best with what we got because this is what we can go to. Because we can't all go to Noble Street Charter or the ITW or whatever those
Well,
private schools are.
Peyton.
No, Watson Peyton is still public school.
It's a good one. Though.
It's a good one though. We all can't go there because a lot of us end up going to our local high schools. Now, if you want to say in Naperville or outside of the city of Chicago, now you start going into these high schools that are huge, and then they invest this money into their education.
Taxes.
I agree.
It's like the
You
fucking
have
Taj
to.
Mahal.
You have to do the best you can with what you got.
And it's not always easy though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Of course it's not. But the same opportunities to go to college are there everywhere you go.
If you persist, but you
I get what you're saying.
We
No,
get
no,
it. It's
I get what
harder.
you're saying. It's harder. It is harder.
but There's
But
been
it's-
people who've done it, so you can't say it's impossible.
We can't say. I mean,
Out of
didn't
1%
Judge Mathis
of
go to
people,
one
we
of the
could say.
schools around Chicago, and he's an amazing judge on Channel 2060U. You know?
But how many other people have gone out of his high school and don't have the same thing as him?
No, yeah, but that can happen in both sides. That can happen anywhere.
Shit,
Some
New-
people just really don't want to go to school.
There's a
You
bunch
know,
of drug addicts in New Trier.
That's the thing.
I think.
What I was saying with the whole income thing was there's certain programs that are that when you're low income you qualify for.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
certain things that you qualify for, right? I think I'm pretty safe with saying that. I don't qualify for those programs, right? So that's an opportunity that I don't have. You know, so a lot of times when I hear, "Oh, middle class people like us, we have opportunities more than other people," yes and no. We have some, and they have some. It's kind of a give or take. You know, at the end of the day,
They have more.
who we do.
The richer people.
No, of course they have money. Money talks. Money's everything. If they want to be in a movie, they could just pay for it. I get it, but I can't blame them for having that movie. Now, if you do what Rebecca Donaldson did from Full House, and you pay
I was
your
just
kids
about to
and
say
some
that.
bullshit, then you deserve to go to fucking jail. That's
They
wrong.
have that extra money.
She's
to throw
Rebecca.
around.
Leave her alone.
You know what's so fucked up about that? In the show, in Full House, there's an episode, right? An episode where Jesse lies about the kids, they're twins, to get them into a really good school.
Oh,
And how ironic that fucking she did the thing in real life.
For real. I
Yeah,
didn't even
she-
know.
Maybe that's where she got the idea from.
Maybe, right? They were trying to say that. It was kind of weird to see because Fuller House just finished like the last episode, and it was kind of weird not to have her there. But
Who cares?
But
Get
what-
over it.
Can
Shut
I go
up.
back?
I love Fuller
Can I
House.
go back? So if she has all that extra money to pay her kid to go to college, bribing money to go to a college that she's still gonna have to pay for later, why can't she get higher taxes to help her community out? Pay more money for her community.
Because taxes, I believe, again, it's not like that. It's going to always be.
It's political. That's why.
Yeah, it is political. I feel like
And
it
the
should be fair.
Richer get richer, the poor get poorer.
Sure. I mean,
It's not sure. It's facts.
I agree with you. My thing is just I don't see where you can make that equal. You know, without it being a problem. It's going to be a problem regardless. If you
It's
say
hard.
we're
They
not,
try to balance it out, but it's hard.
it's
like,
tough.
it's-
Like, again, I don't know why you would say tax like they should pay more because they make more money, versus you make less money, you should get charged tax the same way. Everyone, to
Same
me, I think it
percentage
should
all
be
the
the
way
same
around.
percentage all the way
Yeah.
around. That's just the easiest way to do it. It's not like that though.
The fairest way to do it.
That's
as well.
that would be the fairest way. If you make 20,000 or 100 million, you should be taxed whatever your taxes is, which is whatever the state says, like 10%, 20%, whatever it is.
Or
Everybody
if
should
you're-
get taxed the
If
same
you're
way.
in Illinois, about 45%.
Illinois is ridiculous. Chicago's ridiculous too, man. But I don't know. Anything else you want to say, buddy?
There's a lot, but
We're only
no, I've seen.
54-minute
So,
show.
so I saw
Oh,
this.
God.
I saw this video.
minus the
right?
laughing and all that. But
There's this guy in Washington, a
Trump?
millionaire.
Trump? I don't know. He's a
He's a
millionaire.
billionaire.
That's Washington D.C., bro.
You mean Washington State?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If I would have said Washington D.C., I would have said Trump.
Yeah, my bad.
And I know who Trump is, all right?
bad, my bad.
So there's this guy in Washington, a CEO of a company, millionaire, gets himself, he earned $70,000. He did a pay cut for himself so his workers can get paid make $70,000 a year so they could live off that money and pay everything they have, because that's not enough to live off. Oh my bad, I didn't tell you the money. 40,000.
I've heard of that.
They were making 40,000, and that was enough to live off
And he
their
gave him
daily
the
life.
difference. He gave him the difference, right?
He didn't.
like that.
He pays them that.
No, the difference. He adjusted
he
their pay to
takes
get
less.
His
them.
manager, his manager gets paid 150,000 more than the CEO of the company,
You know what that person is? Awesome.
because we're all human
Everybody
beings.
else doesn't give a shit.
You know who
We're all
else that
human beings,
person
so why
is?
can't-
Not my boss.
I know. I'm serious, man. Because my company doesn't give a shit. They don't, and that's the thing. They don't care. Like, hey, when you work for someone, this is why they say you have to work for yourself, because that's the only way you're really gonna make money. At the end of the day, you're making somebody else money, and that's the bad part. All they care about is their pocket, right? Like right now, they're cutting hours at work, right? So I go to them, and I'm like, look, this is gonna be tough. I can give you a month where you could take a day off, a day a week for me, right? Beyond that, it's tough. I'm like, well, put me on unemployment if you need to cut that much, because right now, unemployment pays out pretty damn good.
Pays more than most jobs.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, put me on unemployment. No, we don't want to put anybody on unemployment. Why?
Because it benefits them.
Yeah, and then they want to say no because we care about you. That no, we don't want to put you without a job. I'm like, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. The only reason you don't want to put me on unemployment is because that comes out of your pocket. And at the end of the year, you don't get to fucking claim that tax. So don't come and tell me this bullshit that it's fucking because we care about you. You don't give a shit. That's the problem with society. Employers don't give a shit. That's fucked up. You know, I feel like employers need to start caring about their employees, especially in situations like this. If you're what was the word? Essential. I'm essential, right? When all of a sudden this whole coronavirus thing started, they were real quick to say, come back on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? We took risk. They want to say you did it willingly. Yeah, we did it willingly because we need work. I'm pretty sure you didn't care about us to tell us, hey, maybe you should stay home. No. Right? No. But we went over there willingly, and now that they're cutting, now all of a sudden we're not essential, I guess. Whatever the fuck. I'm asking you to do me a favor. Put me on fucking unemployment so I don't have to suffer right now with losing fucking almost a month.
And worry about
Unemployment's
getting
going
sick.
down now, though.
Huh?
And worry about getting sick.
That too. And we're taking that risk. And it's like, well, you're doing it willingly. Well, fuck you. You told us to come to work.
You said we were essential.
Yeah. But whatever.
You just contradicted your previous points,
About?
and you just agreed with me.
I
You said
get used to that.
you just said
I tend to do that a lot.
That these CEOs don't want to give up their money, and they're
I'm saying they shouldn't get taxed. They're
pieces
pieces of shit because they don't care about
What's
their
the
employees.
difference?
What's the
If
difference?
they're being taxed and they're giving up more money than
What's the difference?
yeah.
They don't care about me. I don't care about their budget.
So and
They care more about their budget because that's their pocket money.
And
Tax-
if you raise their taxes, their pocket money is gonna go to us in the communities to build us.
See,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
I don't want the money to go in the community. I want
You
it
just
to go into
you're
my
one
pocket.
of that. You're one of those societal
I'm
people
kidding, I'm
that just cares for
He,
yourself. man.
kidding.
he is part of
I'm
the
kidding.
community,
I know
right?
he
I
is.
am,
I
right?
know
It should
he
come to
is.
me. I'm kidding. John, you got anything else?
I just want to know who tooted.
That was not me. 'Cause
Okay.
I
There must be something.
don't know.
All right.
Could be this chair.
I thought it just made sound, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm moving like a worm over here because I'm getting excited.
All right, cool. Sayed, thanks for joining us on the table.
No problem.
This was kind of fun.
Enjoy your trip to Japan.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully your dad and Janice don't kill me for having you here on the day we're supposed to be on curfew.
We'll do this again. So they
Quarantine.
could,
Quarantine and curfew at the same time. All right. So again, everything we said here is in our opinion, and if you don't agree with it, I got 3 words for you. Thanks for listening.